I was sitting here because I noticed on the NFL Network that Data has they had some old TV show, old TV shows where they get a bunch of people to do marketing and they film it, and then you go back and watch the marketing and the people involved in the marketing. And one of them was a thing called Super Bowl 30 in Tempe, Arizona. And me and Jant went down to the Scottsdale Fashion Square thing and ran into Carnell Lake and some other guys at that. And after that, Maria, who I had a relationship with, she was friends with Ernie Mills and Yancey Thigpen, and she met him when she lived in Carolina, and they'd go to the Panthers games, and other girls would, her friends would hook up with sexually with some of the football players. And the one she had romantic times with and was real nice to was a guy named Clyde Simmons. And I've said that before, that I thank Clyde for being such a gentleman and so respectful and kind to my Maria Barnes, because she was a really good woman who went through a lot of hell, because y'all denied the Lord's Prayer year one and you're still denying it. Y'all need to stop, and I'm taking care of it. I got this. I'm taking care of your kids. I'm taking care of your grandparents. I'm taking care of your descend. I'm taking care of your ancestors and your future descendants right now, right here. Right. I was watching these commercials they had, and they had the one kid, the farmer. He's a cash crop farmer. He said, we got to work on our mental health. You got to love your mind. Are you living the Lord's Prayer? Are you using your mind correctly for us all to be healthy? Okay. Well, then you can't, quote, love your mind. Okay. You can't do that. Okay. If your mind is trained to compete over money, and competing over money is mass genocide, you can't get up every day and be healthy. Okay. It's clinically impossible to do so, right? And to mentor people to compete over money, which is genocidal, you can't be a healthy person. If you see that person and you're a competitive person who gets in economic, that's why I dropped out of college. Okay, I was going to school at Arizona State University during Super Bowl 30. And I met a girl from the track team that was really pretty. And she used to sit and wait for me when because we'd watch. There was like a shuttle from the other side of the, over by where they have the town lake, on the other side of the stadium, because when they were making a lot of money from this corporation called the NFL, and we students paid like $90 or $75 a night to pay for our parking, and they gave our parking to the NFL. And so we had to park our cars on a vacant dirt lot over where now it's Tempe Town Lake on the other side of that. And then they had shuttles to take us to class. It was real hard if you're a working parent to get to class on time and not get in trouble and stuff like that. But I was athletic, and I was 30 years old, and I used to just walk. And she was on the track team, and she'd walk. We'd walk together and we'd talk. She was completely fascinated by me, and I was a single dad who had a mixed, what they refer to as race, son named Patrick. John Talay was a lot of Maria. They loved my son. Patrick was, he's tall and lean and very articulate and intelligent. Okay. He looks a lot like his mom, so he's very handsome. And they just were fascinated by Patrick. They loved Patrick. Okay. Jean and Patrick got along real great. They had a good time together. They had a lot of fun. And Maria liked him. They all loved Patrick. They just, he's so intelligent. He's so articulate. He's so introspective and thoughtful. Like I told you that time I took him to Southwest Airlines, and all the people were watching Jerry Springer, and my son is like 7 years old, and he goes, "Dad," he goes, "don't tell mom." I was like, "What?" He goes, "They do this at my mom's work all the time, and everybody gets in trouble." I go, "Oh, okay, Patrick, that's good." I'm like, "Shh, people are gonna hear." And Myra, my friend Myra from New York, the Dominican lady from New York, and Teresa are sitting there going, "No," they're encouraging him. "Go ahead, Patrick, speak more." I'm like, "Oh gosh, I got to work with these people. You guys quit." And sister goes, "But Dad, I don't understand why they do that. It's not intelligent. I was like, what's that, son? He goes, well, it's not funny, and it's not funny like cartoons, and there's no one intelligent on the show. Right? Teresa yells real loud, out of the mouths of babes, right? And I'm like, you guys I got to work with these people. They're always, well, you think you're so goddamn smart. I am considered one of the most intelligent people in the history of the world, yes. Okay. I was monitored and studied my whole life. My boy Sam Singer was a star pupil in the business classes at Arizona State University, and Teresa used to sit there and she'd laugh because every time Sammy would come in, he would sit there and she would see him and she'd go, what do you think? What do you think? And Sam would come up and talk to me about what they talked about, what Alan Greenspan was doing. And they all knew, here's what Earl would sit and listen, and then Earl, he's an idiot, and I'll explain to you why. Okay, and then I would explain, here's what we need to do. Okay, we need to, eventually, because, I worked at the airlines, because they travel, and it's bad for the ecosystem, bad for the environment, the butterfly effect and stuff. Eventually what we'll do is tear down all our prisons and put down all our airplanes and tear up all our airports, and we'll build these monorail tube things, like the thing you use from when you're at the bank and you put the thing in the tube and it goes, and you won't have weather delays, and you won't cause problems to the migrating animals, because you can build, like they do in China, you can build pathways for the animals to migrate and stuff like that. So eventually we will radically change the way we interact in our environment and the way we destroy our environment through our mechanization, our industrialization, and our economics. And so Greenspan's an idiot. We should be getting on this now, because we don't have time to wait, because if we really love our children. So I would talk to them about this stuff all the time, and everybody would sit there and they go, they would always get upset with me too, because I was the one who told all the people at the call center. They sat there and they said, I said, you guys aren't going to have your jobs for long here. You're going to school and you're so smart. I said, guys, okay, we're reservation sales agents, okay? Unless you do tech support within about 3 to 4 years, you're all going to be fired, and they're all going to be able to book their flights and change their flights online, and all you're going to need is tech support. So instead of 7 call centers where they're booking flights, you're going to need like 1 call center maybe in Dallas where they just give you tech support. And they were like, say it isn't so, and which I was correct. Okay. And so the reason why that young man who's a farmer on that NFL network commercial, talks about having mental health issues, is because we're all connected. Okay. And when you destroy people, like you go down, I went to downtown Old Las Cruces, it's like a ghost town yesterday. And you have a bunch of poor people there, panhandling and trying to find something to do, trying to just stay alive. Okay. All the old businesses are going out of business, and all the new businesses are just, cannibalizing all the poor people. And their most, what they consider most viable alternative is to medicate them, and then find ways for them to die, fentanyl, find ways to kill them and do it comfortably numb. So psychologically, it doesn't affect us in a violent manner. Anyone with half a brain could tell that's what these people are doing right now. And you look at it and you go, wow. So the world needs me more now than ever before, the human beings of the world, to help the planet recover from our abuse, and for us to be sane and lucid and kind and courageous and loving. I'm the swordsman, like D.T. Suzuki talked about. And he knew it was me. And he knew I had a lot of responsibility, and he wanted to help, and he did, and it's beautiful. And he asked Jesus if he could help, and Jesus said, yes, definitely. So it's beautiful when you have people like Sun Yat-sen and D.T. Suzuki cognizant of your existence, and they meditate, and they talk to you, and they help you through hell so you can help the children live in the kingdom of heaven here on earth. Right? I'm going to load this up. I got to run my errands and go to the dump and do the things I got to do for philanthropy here until, so the technology can monitor what they're doing to me, and it can more rapidly shut it down. I go through hell every day, psychologically, physically, and emotionally, helping people not be mass murdered, and whether you guys understand it or not. All right? Peace out.